North Carolina. But before we get there, I want to pay my respects to Lanny Poffo. Lanny Poffo passed away at the age of 68. The genius
Mm.
uh, character in the WWE, and I was just with um, Lanny Poffo no more than 3 weeks to a month ago. We were filming some stuff in Connecticut for WWE Treasures, and man, he seemed perfectly fine. He seemed perfectly fine, and that's the thing, man. You know, you just don't know when your date is going to come, when that time is going to. You just don't know. But I just want to say condolences to the family. My heart goes out to you guys because I know that was something that was totally not expected. I just saw him. So my heart goes out to the family.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of WWF fans know him as the genius, as you pointed out. Also, the brother to the Macho Man, Randy
Yeah,
Savage, and the
yeah. We were just
son to
wrapping up. Yeah,
Angelo Poffo, who is a great wrestler in his own right, especially in the Florida territory. I know that Angelo and Lanny Poffo were actually NWA Tag Team Champions at one point, which I'm sure was a thrill for him. And I remember when Mach was inducted into the Hall of Fame a few years ago, probably about 6 years ago at this point. Lanny's the one who did the induction, accepted it on Macho's behalf after Hogan did the induction speech. Yeah, it's really sad, man. Lanny Poffo again was one of those guys who in wrestling, although he never had the big success that his brother had or anything like that, he was someone who contributed to this industry, and I give him a lot of credit for keeping the Poffo family name alive and well, and people remembering not just his brother but his father. He did a lot of stuff to keep the legacies alive, and I don't know this intimately, but I have to think that he had a big part to do with the Macho Man finally getting into the Hall of Fame because he was campaigning for it for quite some time. Because he said this, I believe, at one point, and I agree. He did an interview, I think, with Chris Jericho several years ago, but he said, "Is it really a Hall of Fame if the Macho Man isn't in it?" Right? And
yeah,
and I think in a lot of ways it validated it. So rest in peace to Lenny. And you saw him for the treasures thing. Did you notice
yeah, yeah.
anything? Was he looking
We
in
were
good
just
shape?
around, and I mean, he seemed perfect. He had a tight shirt on and everything, like he had been working out. You know, I was actually complimenting him on the tight shirt. You know what I mean? And he was like, I wear these shirts to keep everything together. That's what he said. You know, so he definitely he seemed perfectly fine. We're just wrapping up as far as the Macho Man Savage's, stuff that we were looking for treasures for Mach. And like I say, he seemed perfectly fine. And for me to open my phone and just looking for some stories for the show tonight, and that's the first thing that pop up today. I go, wow, man, just can't seem to catch a break, man. With guys falling, I mean, seemed like we just went through this a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah, with Briscoe and
Yeah,
now here we are with Lanny. I mean it's never easy. And 68, I saw some people like, oh man, he lived to 68, and I'm like, well, that's not a long time in anymore, right? That's not a long time anymore. At one
no,
point, 68 felt like, oh, he had a long life, but now it's like if someone's in their 80s, you're still like, oh man, he probably had still so much to give, right? Like,
yeah, I don't
and
know, man. Seem like you don't hear about the longevity of life like you did in the past, as often, because like I said, my grandfather lived to be 102, and his brother lived to be 103. You know what
it's
I
great
mean?
genetics.
It seems like nowadays, if you get to that number 60, that's a long life, in this day and age, especially for these millennials, man. They don't even know about longevity in life or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just one of those things that definitely make you think. It make you think hard every day. Hug your kids tight because we all got a birth date and we all got a death date as well.
So I was interested in what you just said regarding like the average lifespan. So get this. This is crazy. This shows you actually how because your grandfather was born in the late 1800s, right?
1889.
1889. This shows you how much of an anomaly Nate was his name Naaman James,
Yeah, Naaman
right?
James.
This shows you how much of an anomaly he was because in the U.S. in the year 1900, so 11 years after your grandfather was born, the average lifespan. This is nuts. The average lifespan was 47 years old, according to this Harvard EDU study. In 1950, it went up to 68. And by the end of 2019, it had risen to 79 is the average life expectancy
Wow.
in the US. So it tells you kind of your family, the Hubman family's got some great genes. You got some great genetics on at
Hey
least from
man,
your grandfather.
Ron, but still don't it doesn't make you feel any better, you know.
I hear you.
You know, when you see you know, your comrades going down, you just don't know, you know, something you get a ache, a pain. You, wait a minute, is that it? Is this the big one? You, I feel like Fred Sanford every
Yeah.
day, man. Another bit. I'm coming to join you, honey. It's one of those type of deals, man. But
Didn't he actually have a heart attack?
I think so.
I think he actually had a heart attack. It's kind of weird.
Must have saw it coming, but
Red
man,
Fox.
just crazy,
But
man. Crazy.
again, rest in peace to Lanny Poffo. It is always one of these things because I guess like you hear about people passing away every day. Unfortunately, it's just it's just a real fact of life. But when it's someone in the wrestling world, because we focus on it so much and we spend so much time around it, you've had your entire adult life in the wrestling industry. It does hit you a little different. You know what I mean? When it's one of the fraternity.
Man, no doubt, man. And it's a never ending story. That door is always, you know, revolving. You know, it never, it never stops. Seems like, but it's just life. You know, we put our boots on, man, and we march right into the line of fire. You know, every day, and I think that's what life truly is, man. I think about it all the time. You know, just because I got kids. You know, I got 12-year-old kids, twin girls. I mean, twin boy and girl, and I have to be strong every day. You know, no matter what, man. I got to be strong. You know, I got to be the one that they look towards for strength. You know, it's just like yesterday, man. My son, I made sure I made him some fried chicken. Corn, uh, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and got to be strong, man. Got to be strong. Got to grow up strong because one day he's gonna be in that same position that I'm in. You know what I mean? And one thing about death. I've experienced it so many times, losing my father at such a young age, at 10 months old, losing my father when I was 13, losing my mother when I was 13 years old, um, losing my grandfather. You learn, man, to be strong because that's the only thing you can do. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.